What is the most obvious lie you have ever been told? We cannot give you a raise right now, but we will compensate you as soon as the budget allows. Turns out when the budget allows is when you already have another job offer and put in your 2 weeks notice. In high school a buddy told me that he didn't steal our other buddy's watch. He was wearing the watch when I asked him about it. Your call is important to us. The company is in a great shape, so don't pay any attention to rumors about financial trouble. We will keep your resume on hand, and let you know if any other positions open up. As a recent graduate job searching, it hurts. As a tax accountant, I'm told lies about how much money people actually made all the time during tax season. My favorite was a guy telling me he's broke because he only makes $35,000 per year in NYC, so my very reasonable fee is too much for him. He says this after he asks me if he can deduct the new BMW 5 Series he just bought his son all cash. That's not a hickey. I bruised my neck helping my sister move to date. Thank you for the awards. Can't believe my top comment is about my shitty ex Lamau. Yeah, I did all my homework in like 5 minutes, I promised. Holy shit, this comment blew up. Thanks lol. When my little brother mixed like 50 condiments, including sprinkles, ketchup, cereal and stuff, into a bag of popcorn and ate it, telling us it was delicious when his face looked like he'd just ate 10 extremely sour warheads at once. He later admitted he just wanted us to eat it, but we never did. I can finish this Civ game tonight. Does it count if the person believed me because I told someone the world was in black and white until the first nuclear explosions? When a coworker told my own story back to me as his own, twice. I did brush my teeth, I swear. Loyalty to a company would be repaid. My little girl told everyone in the supermarket that our cat died and she was sad. We don't own a cat. I've had toddlers with faces/hands/clothes covered in peanut butter swear up and down that their brother/sister was the one who ate the peanut butter. Also, one of my favorites from a couple of years ago, I didn't write that. Sean ate it once more. Sean claimed he didn't write that with his hands covered in the charcoal he used to write that. Any lieutenant saying that the platoon can go home early on a Friday if you work hard right now. My ex told me he was in a car accident, totaled his car, broke a few ribs. He was trying to get sympathy so I would get back together with him, blaming the accident on me, since he was distracted after the breakup. He sent me a photo of his car smashed in. I Google searched it. First pic of his make/model that was wrecked. He formulated the story after the picture, but here's the deal, the wheels didn't match. So I drove by his house that evening. Car was fixed and in his driveway. Oh yes, I paid the shop extra to get me in today. So I could have my car to come see you if you wanted me to. Ha 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 bro. A childhood friend and I met up for coffee one day after not meeting for a few years. He casually let it slip that ever since he earned a black belt he has had to register with the state as a human weapon. I never said you had to sign the document if it wasn't true, says the person with 3 emails telling me to sign a document even after I said it wasn't true, sitting on her outbox. Mom opened the door to my closet. We'd farm her. What is this? Me, panicking. Tomatoes? Her, right. Be careful with those lamps. She never asked about my tomatoes. My friend told me that getting a Peloton changed her life. I looked up her workout stats. She had used it 4 times in 5 months of owning it. Her husband fared a little better with using it 9 times. Don't know why this annoyed me so much. My coworker once tried to convince me that centaurs exist. She said they lived in a gated community in Hollywood and did all the horse stunts for movies. Did we both know it was a lie? Yes. Did she ever admit it was? No, and I admire that about her. My friend said he had a body count of 200 plus. He was a slightly fat guy who spends all his free time on video games and hates to leave his apartment. The cat scratched me. You literally don't own a cat though. My fork fell onto my arms then. In 5th grade. A friend of ours used to try to convince us he used to hang out with the band Sublime. Among other stuff, he said that he was the person featured on the cover of their self-titled album and he used to do drugs with them and even tried heroin once. We were fucking 11 years old and he claimed this all happened 2 years before he even moved to our school. So yeah, a fucking 9-year-old did all this wild shit. We constantly called bullshit, but he would just continue to lie and make up more stuff. We stopped hanging out with him because he was so full of shit. You're the best I've ever had. I love you. After I found out I was being cheated on, she had the audacity to kiss me too. My mom, after 11-year-old me accidentally destroyed her favorite vase by throwing my brother's stuffed animals around the living room. I'm not mad. Used to have a friend that spewed bullshit all the time. Told me her bio parents, who lived together, were divorced and seeing other people, and also that she had 25 siblings. Brought it up to her mom one time, which was an interesting conversation. She also told us she had cancer, And then a week later it was miraculously cured. Just 5 more minutes on Reddit. It will all be over by Easter. If you tell me the truth, I won't be mad. My brother told me I was a dragon and I totally believed him. Man, I was a dumb kid, but now I'm a dumb adult. When my friend was an infant, her mother put her 2-year-old sibling in her crib while the mom left the room briefly. When mom came back, my friend was crying and had teeth marks on her forehead. When mom asked the older sibling what happened, she calmly said, she bit herself. I had a friend in college who was a serial liar. Just all kinds of crazy things, that must have satisfied some psychological need, all of it harmless. He told me he developed a theory on how to bend light passing through air and pitched the idea to the physics department, which set up an experiment and proved his theory to be true. He was a general studies major. I kept pressing him, well, which professor was it? How did the experiment work? Etc. Just kept digging deeper and changing the subject. When I was a public defender, my dipshit client called up his victim from the jail phone the night before his trial. He said kill repeatedly in an attempt to intimidate her. When I was telling him how stupid this was, his excuse was that he was watching Kill Bill and someone changed the channel on the cell block communal TV. That dumbass is now doing 28 years in prison. My supervisor was pissed off at me after we had some issues and she told me, excuse me, I want to go to the toilet, while she truly went to release her anger to other co-workers. She should have taken them farther, for I could hear her. Stupid. My son takes every opportunity to get naked. It's a struggle to get him to even wear underpants half the time. We found him sat around naked one time and asked him where his pants had gone. Bees came in through the window and stole his pants. Lying little shit. Everyone knows that's it's gnomes who steal underwear. My classmate was watching videos during online class while she was unmuted and said it was a math video. We were in health class. There was once my parents told me that Santa wasn't real. I knew he was because I saw him break open the door and with a crowbar and carried a large bag. The Easter Bunny. Yay, we had to wait for the eggs to be hidden. I told this lie as a 3-year-old to my mom. I was coloring the wall in the hallway with my bunny stuffed animal in my hand. I wasn't much of a rule breaker, so this one really stuck to my mom. My mom coming into the hallway, what did you do? Me, looks at Bunny, Bunny did that. Mom, well then tell Bunny that he shouldn't do that anymore because now we have to repaint a wall and that's not nice. Me, looks at Bunny, Bunny you really can't do that. That's not nice. Meanwhile I still had the markers in my other hand. I used to work with a guy that was a serial liar. Couldn't tell the truth if his life depended on it. So many lies, but this is my personal fave. Background: keep in mind that at the NFL Combine the 40-yard dash is the standard for speed. 4.5 seconds is great. 4.4 is elite. And the fastest time ever recorded, by a prospect is, I believe 4.24 seconds. This Yutz I worked with claimed that back in his army days, he ran a 4.2 flat. In combat boots. Let's just say I'm skeptical. Trump won the election by a lot. Epstein has committed suicide by hanging himself in his cell. Nobody has more respect for women than I do. I will be ready in 5 minutes. Never has that been the case. A friend told me to come and visit, a 120-mile journey, because he was off work. He was at work when I arrived. There are horny singles in my area. I met someone who told me that he drank too much with his friends, had an alcohol overdose, and died. After he died, his friends threw him under a bed where he rotted for 3 days before coming back to life, and if I didn't believe him I could ask his friends. I haven't seen him since. I'm on my way while lying on the bed contemplating if I should go or not. I did not feed your dog any human food, my mom, while my dog pukes and shits all over my house. Every time my 5-year-old swears she has brushed her teeth. Your breath tells me a different story, kid. Me coming upstairs to tell kid to hurry up and be ready to go out 15 minutes after already telling him and seeing him on his phone through the slightly open door. Why the hell aren't you ready yet? Get the hell off your phone. I wasn't on my phone. A high school dropout who insisted she knew more about nutrition than me, a board-certified physician. An employee of mine took a half day off so he could attend a parent-teacher conference in the afternoon. He was supposed to work the morning shift, but then called last minute saying that it had all been bumped up and he couldn't come in the morning. Then he kept saying that the meeting was getting dragged out all day, finally showing up around 4 p.m. He insisted that the school had bumped his appointment up to 10 a.m., all the while forgetting that he was wearing a visitor's badge sticker on his shirt that clearly said checked in 2 p.m. You can do anything if you put your mind to it. In the early 90s I was at work making $5/hour, and a coworker looked me straight in the eye and said he had bought a surface-to-air missile from China and kept it stored at a mom's house in a different city. WTF dude? That's not even close to believable. When I was in high school, a classmate told me he makes over $20 an hour part-time as a banquet server. I did the exact same job and made $6.30 per hour. I told him he was straight up lying to me and he was adamant that he wasn't. Told him to bring me a pay stub and prove it and he said I don't have one. This guy just regularly lied about all kinds of shit, but this was the first one I remember. You'll never understand compulsive liars. Pretty sure our manager wasn't making 20 an hour FFS. Everything my kid brother has ever said. He is really bad at lying, but he does it 24/7. If you tell a teacher the bullies will leave you alone, that lie ruined my school life. I feel good enough today. For flight training, anytime you fly you have to sign off that you are physically and mentally fit to fly. This means you have eaten in the past 6 hours, had a 10-hour rest period including 6 to 8 hours of sleep no longer than 16 hours ago, and that you do not have any excessive outside stresses. People lie about this all the time. The teacher said this assignment wasn't required, or we would do it in class, or I promise I got it done. My kid and his homework are going to kill us both. No specific example, but when a fully grown adult tells you a story that just completely doesn't add up, whether it's a reason they didn't finish a task, or didn't want to come and meet up, and it literally doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to lie about why you did/didn't do something, at least have the decency to make it believable. SMH. No. You don't look like you have gained any weight. To my sister at weigh-in, recovering from severe anorexia. That my workplace is COVID safe. A plus size girl, walked into my boyfriend's bedroom to find a butterfly thong laying on the floor that was a size small. This dude had the audacity to look at me and say, "Oh, those aren't yours?" LMFAO. No bitch, they're not. Told numerous lies every day. Like somehow supposed to be able to find a job in a world that only values me cheerful disposition. Well, not cheerful. And I can't find a job. A guy at work told me to my face in a meeting that I didn't need to sign off on his task because my supervisor had already checked it. Which was weird, because my supervisor had been off all week and left me in charge. He acted so shocked when I pointed this out. Like, what, did a ghost check your work? He didn't think his story through at all. Someone once told my own story back to me. I told them something funny that happened to me, and 6 months later they told me back my own story, only that it happened to them. Yes, the company has been sold, but the new owners are not making any changes in personnel. I've been fired 3 times because of new owners. Our 6-year-old foster child swearing he washed his hair. It was perfectly dry. Lamau. He would not back off the lie either. I see a future for us. After he had accepted a job in another country that he hadn't said he had applied for. I'm going on a date at Chick-fil-A. It was a Sunday. Classmate in 8th grade insisted that he and his dad had done a deep-sea dive down to the Titanic over winter break. Sure thing, Sam. Something a family friend, FF, said when he got to the UK, kid, but if you're from South Africa, why aren't you black? FF, well, when you cross the equator you turn white. I used to work in social housing. I once had a guy try to blag unemployment and having no income, benefits. What shot his argument in the foot was the fact he was sat there in a full Tesco uniform.